Hi guys, Squirrel here. Welcome back to part 2 of our look at the Just Trains Chiltern Mainline Railway. We're just going to get moving here. If you missed part 1, links in the video description to both parts, in case you missed part 1. We left, in part 1 we left Birmingham. Whoa, dude, what the heck? In part 1 we left Birmingham, we're on our way down to London Marylebone. At the end of part 1, we got to here, which is Leamington Spa, which is a rather nice place, Leamington Spa, if you've not been. It looks nothing like what you can see here. It really doesn't, like the platform does. But the actual scenery is, well, it's a bit different, let me put it that way. Let's keep our speed under 30, we go. So yeah, we're going from Birmingham, Birmingham Snow Hill station, all the way down to London Marylebone. Roughly, we're about halfway here. Our ETA, our next stop is going to be Banbury, which is 19.6 miles, arriving at 12:01. Our ETA is currently 12:02, and I've just noticed that it says here we didn't do the Dorridge platform, which I know for a fact we did. So I'm not really sure what happened there. I know we stopped and opened the doors. I don't really understand. I don't know. I need to watch the video back and see what we did at Dorridge. Obviously, it's not triggered the fact that we did it. It doesn't matter because it's not a career mode anyway. We've been sticking to the speed limits and following signalling and following the schedule, but for some reason it's not ticked that one off, which if that was a career mode, I would be crying in a corner right now. But it's not, so I'm not bothered. The main purpose of this and the previous video was to take a look at the Chiltern main lines and you know, experience the entire track, because we're going down the whole thing from start to end, so we get to see the whole thing. I doubt we're going to see all the there's a bunch of landmarks on the way. We should see the BT Tower. We're going to pass Wembley. Whether we'll see it or not, you know, you guys might see it, I might fly right past it, but I'm trying to give you a good look of the scenario so you can make your mind up whether it's, you know, perhaps something you want to get at some point. But like as I said in part 1, just be very aware, just look on their webpage and be very aware of the requirements for the scenarios, particularly other locos that you need. Some of them are Just Trains ones which you might not have, and some of them ones that you may have got on Steam already. It is, you know, quick drive compatible, so there's always that, but yeah, just something to pay attention to if you're thinking about binds, and that applies to all you know, all the scenarios that Just Trains put out. They're all like that. They all have different requirements, and they do, you know, cross-promote their own stuff, which, you know, is fine. You kind of expect it. They build scenarios with their own trains in them to get you to buy the trains. Fair enough. Personally, I just like to have a decent number of scenarios that don't require me to go and buy more stuff. You know, I think that's, if I'm dropping £25 on a scenario, then I want to have a reasonable amount of, you know, scenarios that I can play out the box without thinking about, oh, I'm going to need to go and drop £12 on that loco to play that scenario. Well, that's my personal opinion. Your mileage may vary. This has gone very countryside-y now. Look at this. Look at this. It's really starting to open. I did say to you it would start to open up into countryside between, you know, once you get out of here down towards as we head down towards Bicester, it'll cluster up again and then it'll open up again. Very nice countryside round here. Let's do the horn thing. Depressed train. Oh, that's a great trackside view. That's slightly better. Hiding amongst the grass. The secret train spotters. Fantastic. Right, let's pay attention, because I actually don't know what's going to happen. This is a three bar yellow rated scenario, which I think is probably just down to the timings, because they are fairly aggressive. But part of me does think that at some point we're going to get nailed by a signal. Now at the moment I can see that we're a little bit out of schedule here by about a minute, which I kind of expected to be able to claw back some of the scheduling at Leamington Spa. Not Leamington Spa, yeah, it was Leamington Spa, wasn't it? Because Leamington Spa had no stop and start time. So I figured that would be the time to adjust our schedule. But I don't think it is. Because it carried on aggressively, and I kind of sat at Leamington Spa for a minute going, oh, this is very pretty. So yeah, we've lost time. Look at this. Wow. What the heck is that? They built that or cut it out or something? Looks like it used to be a huge arch and then they propped it up and made a smaller one. That's what it looks like to me. There's definitely a, you know, a case of two different types of material had gone into that bridge construction. So in the back here we have a slightly bored businessman who looks like he forgot to bring his iPhone, so he's just kind of looking out the window bored now. You've got Sporty Girl over there. Can't see this guy, I think he's asleep. And then you've got Mr. Cocky over here. I'm the big I am. It's just... And it doesn't change, like they don't get on or off. It's really disappointing. Like, even OMSI had this, you know? Passengers would get on and sit in the bus. And then you could walk, you could even look around the bus and watch them get up and get back off again. Why don't they do that in this game? Why is there not? It's the greatest thing to have people just getting on the train and sitting down. It's so cool. You can have like kids in there and nans in there. It'd be brilliant. Makes a difference, I think, you know. Maybe it doesn't to you. Maybe you're more interested in the train or the scenario. I don't know. Just to me. I kind of like... With simulation games like this, where you're moving people around, I kind of feel like more attached to the whole thing if it feels like there are actually... And I know they're not people, don't get me wrong. But if it feels like... If they're behaving like people, if they're walking like a duck and quacking like a duck, they're probably a duck. Let me put it that way. So, if they're getting on my train, sitting down, and then they're getting off my train, it kind of feels more like I'm moving people around, rather than just fixed models sitting in the back of my train. That makes sense. It just adds to the experience, I think. Okay, we just need to kill a bit of speed here. Kind of expecting an AWS warning, but it isn't like we're going to get one. It just suddenly drops to 75 mid-signal. There we go. There you go, 75. I don't know why. Maybe it's some kind of section of track that just needs a bit of attention. It's just this bit. And then it goes back up to 90. I love it when they build track on these kind of elevated things. Because the reason I like it is you get a cracking view. Such a good view. Let's get the power in. Let's try and keep close to 75 as possible. There's a lot of stuff on this track. A lot of signalling boxes and things. I'll start accelerating now. Wide open field. This train hardly, like I full throttled it at 70 miles per hour, and look how long it's taken to just put even 4 or 5 miles per hour on top. It's an amazing amount of time. It's a pretty decent modelling though. It's not exactly next-gen graphics, but that's not Just Trains' fault, is it? They can only work with what they've got. So I wonder what this is like, whether this is another scenario where you can go and do some industrial drop-off. No, it doesn't look like it. Sometimes you see those things that, you know, in other scenarios you get to go there, like you might get to pull into here and drop off. Like there's one where you can take a whole lot of coal to a power station, for example. Is it Didcot Power Station, or am I thinking of another one? Can't remember. What the heck are these little red bush things on the side? Just loads of them, look. I don't know what they are. We're actually approaching 90. I didn't think this train could do it. W whistle, for some reason. Banbury 1201 is 7.4 miles. After Banbury, you've got Bicester, which is 7.4 to 21. So roughly like 14 miles or something. And then London, that one, a 50 odd mile jump there. That's going to be insane. Look at this, we're almost at the track limit. 88.8 FM. Back off slightly. You can tell the amount of air resistance. Like I just got, you know, just came off the throttle slightly and already it's just starting to drop down. Just basically a flat thing just hitting the air. I don't understand why they didn't shape this nose a little bit better, try and get some more aerodynamic efficiency. Not quite a bullet train, but you know, it's going to help, isn't it? Having a pointy thing. I think they just make them that way so that they can connect them up, you know, and just chain them together. If they were pointy, it's a bit more difficult, but I don't know. Maybe you can have like a, maybe you can have something that like change the shape of it dynamically. You can have, you know, like the Concorde used to bring its nose up. Maybe you can do something here to just put foil, you know, foils that just extend out and just change the shape of the front slightly, just to make it more efficient. I don't know. Maybe the grand scheme of things, it just doesn't make that much difference because this thing doesn't go at 90 that often. Which is probably the case. Like the operating speed, the operating average speed of a train like this is probably 40s or 50s at a guess when you take into account all the stoppage. So it's just not worth making it aerodynamic. It's better to just have it that shape. It probably is that. Thinking it through. Right, I need to be careful here though. We're about to go downhill. I'm just going to back off the throttle slightly. 4 miles as well, so I need to start thinking about braking. This really is a countryside route, isn't it? Trying to get trackside again. What's that? There's a car in the road. Did you see that? Oh my god, there are cars. Oh no, no, I tell a lie. There's a tiny road there. That just looked really suspicious. I thought there was like an A1 modelling error right there. You never know, farmers driving across their own field, why not? The phonetic alphabet. Alpha Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf Hotel, India, Juliet, Kilo Lima, Mike. November, Oscar, Papa, Quebec, Romeo, Sierra, Tango, Uniform, Victor, Whiskey, X-Ray, Yankee, Zulu. You have to memorize these things when you join certain things, like, you know, the police force, for example. Aviation, I don't know if you need to know it, you probably should have to learn it. Armed forces, maybe, you probably have to learn it. Right, we have a speed drop coming up down to 75. Over the bridge. And under the bridge. Right, stop braking. .75 warning just passed. I think we should be alright on 50% braking for now. Banbury, platform 3. Post office van, or Royal Mail van. Love the linear turning. What sights are we going to see at Banbury, I wonder? Oh, large trees. They're new on the scenario. Right, third of a mile out, 50 miles per hour. Let's get a bit more braking going on. ETA, yeah, we are slightly late. I think if you're doing like 30 miles per hour maximum at the beginning of the platform, that's where you want to be. Because you can shave 30 miles per hour off through here, assuming it's not a really tight platform. It's perfectly doable. Blimey, it's parking on that. Now, Banbury is a platform I've been to at least once. I've got an uncle that lives in Banbury. I know I've been there once, but I can't remember it. I just can't remember the platform to say whether it looks like this or not. It's been so long since I've been there. Okay, open the doors. London to Birmingham for under 10 quid, Chiltern Railways. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That, honestly, I don't know what the criteria is for that, but good luck getting London to Birmingham for £10. Probably have to book a year in advance or something. Yeah, we're pretty late now. A couple of minutes late. We're not going to claw this back. There's just not enough space in the schedule to do it. And this train doesn't accelerate or brake aggressively enough to be able to try and cut it out somehow. That's only the second time she said that in the whole scenario. Bicester North, 14 miles away. Blimey. ETA, 12:15, 2 minutes late. Not good. Not good at all. It's kind of difficult to work out where I could have potentially clawed back 2 minutes, you know? Bye-bye, Bicester. Sorry, bye-bye, Banbury. What am I talking about? Hello, Bicester. As I said, I was like, hang on a minute, we didn't just leave Bicester. I wonder if we're going to get any landmarks on the route here. Or whether it's just all countryside from Banbury to Bicester. I think... Actually, let me try and look and see if we can see a motorway like an M40. No, there's something over there. I think it's just a line of hedges, though. I can even see where the road ends. Nope, I can't see it. Same people in the back. Same poses. It's a bit quiet in here. It's not quite that quiet in real life. Like, these carriages are pretty comfortable, but they're not that quiet. I wish there was, like, other stuff that you could click in here, you know? I yearn for the day when train simulators are up at the level of flight sims. Or even just having to, like, dial the dispatch, or dispatch calls you and give you, like, information. Just the fact that most stuff isn't clickable is just a little bit disappointing. They can even start to model failures, you know? Program failures to happen. That'd be fun. Whistle. There we go. Got one. Trackside view. Little village coming up, I think. No idea which one. Actually, if we just stopped after Banbury, King Sutton. It could be King Sutton. And then we've got Bicester North and then Bicester Village. Yeah, that was King Sutton. Is it me, or is like most of this journey 2-track with lots and lots of trees lining it? That's what it feels like. Which, you know, it could be how it is in real life. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just making an observation. .3 to Bicester. Bicester North first. So we are centre player. Yeah, coming all the way through here. Bicester North is there. Ooh, what's this? Portal Ardley Tunnel down. Nice, we've got a tunnel. What's that to look forward to? Not being able to see anything because the headlights are rubbish. Whoa, we're on a... What the heck? Look at this. I'm glad I went outside then, because you wouldn't have known you just went over a huge archway bridge. Look at this. And this is cool. There's another one here. You can bet this was built a long time ago. Because they don't make bridges like that now. That is so cool. Do you know, the brick builders... The brick builders in England used to be... My life, they were so good. They were so skilled at it. If you look at some of the old school, like, structures, chimneys and arch bridges they made... Not just England, but I mean up in Scotland, I mean just in general. Like brick building, back in the day, was an absolute art. And they were so good, like they could build so fast, it was ridiculous. Yeah, here we go. Here's the wonderful... I can't see anything but a few floating dials because I'm in a tunnel. I have no cab lights and my headlights are rubbish. What the heck is this? In the cab, it's like you're driving through the dead of night. Look at it. Just completely black outside. But I know when you come out of places like Liverpool Street Station on the train and you just see it flanking you both sides as you come out, it's just try and imagine how many bricks you can see. Let me put it that way. And don't forget, for every brick you see there, somebody put that brick there. Somebody put it there, they put the cement on it, and then they put another one there. And there are millions of bricks, and you can just see them all. It's unbelievable. There was a set of houses, like an apartments built in Chelmsford years ago. And I was at the because it's like right next to the train platform. I watched it being built, this thing. Where the bus station is now in Chelmsford, they built on the ground floor is shops, and then above it is apartments, and I watched the whole thing getting built. And one day, I stood there and watched this crane hoist in panels of bricks. Basically, prefabricated brick paneling. Now, back in the day, bricks were part of the main structure. They would keep the thing up. What you had here was steel uprights that were keeping the thing up, concrete floors, and then brick facades that were put on there for decoration and styling. But instead of just having them built by bricklayers, they had these pre-built, like, 4x4 meter sections, and crane just hoisted it up and then bolted it in position. I was like, that's cheating, that is. You don't even get a bricklayer now. It's cheating. That was probably made by a machine and then hoisted into position, and it just looks like a brick building, but it's not. Inside it's steel and concrete. It just has a brick outer shell. It's bizarre, but that's how it's done. 2.7 miles to Bicester. Let's start paying attention. Whoops, wrong button. Meant to press that button. It's all downhill. Clear signals. This is Bicester North. This is our final stop before I'm actually looking forward to seeing Marylebone. It's a bit like on the scenario where you come into King's Cross. It's just reasonably, it's reasonably impressive. But looking at the picture in the manual for Marylebone, it definitely looks like it's worth seeing. 1.5 miles. Back off on the throttle. Now downhill doing 90 miles per hour. This is going to tax the brakes for sure. Wow, is it loading scenery or something? Blimey. Did you see that guy? There's a guy there. What the heck? There's a workman on the line. Okay, we're doing pretty well. We're half a mile out. Third of a mile out, doing 46. That's not bad, actually. That's worked out pretty well. That's about as aggressive as that braking could have got. This doesn't look like a particularly long platform though, so I need to watch out. Well, Bicester North. Look at that. It's not bad modelling at all, actually. I'm loving all the flowers and stuff. Very pretty. Wow, do the customers have to walk to the platform? Seriously? They would do an injury. Look at that. Look at that gap. That's insane. Imagine an old person. Like, what the heck? They'd have to jump from there. Pretty certain that platform's been modelled wrong. There's just no way. That's not even legal. $12.13 and we're doing $12.15. Oh well. Non-stop to London Marylebone, due to arrive 13:08. Yeah, we won't be arriving 13:08. Not a chance. At first I was stepping up the power quite a bit, but the way this diesel electric seems to produce power, the engines throttle right up, but it doesn't translate into acceleration. It kind of, the power has to build up first. So the net effect is that you're not going to get wheel spin, let me put it that way. You can pretty much throttle it to 100 and it's fine. That seems to be the way it is. Chiltern Railways. Getting you there eventually. Now that's what all the scenery was, look at that. And a whole lot of objects got loaded in. Looks like Chiltern is... well, not Chiltern, it looks like Bicester is pretty built up. Got a niece who lives in Bicester. Not seen him for a few years, actually. Wow, look at this coming out of Bicester. Like the whole thing is just elevated. I think Bicester as a town has grown massively in the last sort of 10-15 years. Like it really became a commuter belt, you know? There's just so many people commute from Bicester to London now. I know that because my uncle has lived in Banbury. He's been there quite a while, and it's basically his daughter that lives in Bicester, and you know, you just hear what they say, and you can see the town growing. Like it's grown quite a lot. And the house building that's gone on is phenomenal. They've just thrown houses up. London Marylebone, 52 miles. That is a long way. 52 miles, and we're only doing 75. Like, that's straight away going to be 40 minutes or something. But if we can get nearer to the 100, which I hope we can, all we need is a bit of a tailwind and a downhill section and we'll be good. Put the sails out. But I personally think it's going to be a lot of countryside like this. Just looking down the station list, after Bicester North, which is what we left, wasn't it? Bicester North. We had Bicester Village, which was not connected to the track, so that's one of the things that we could have looked out for if we knew where it was, Bicester Village. We should be going through Haddenham and Thames Parkway, and then Princess Risborough, and then it's about like 20 stops on the way, so we're going to be passing through a lot of stuff. But I don't know if it's going to label all of it down here. Uphill climb. If I was sat back there, knowing full well I had a speedy journey from Bicester to London in 50 minutes, I'd do what I used to do on commuter trains. I'd pull out a device and just watch like when I used to do it, I used to watch TV series. I can't remember. I'm trying to think what I used to watch. I used to watch things like Heroes and Breaking Bad and that kind of thing. And the cool thing about that was, like, depending on the length of the episode, you could usually get at least one episode in on your journey in a morning, and then you could do the same thing on the journey back. And it kind of it made the journey so, like, when you're commuting day in, day out, it can get very monotonous. You know, you get on the same train every morning, get on the same train every night, it's the same journey, you look out the window, you know, summers go, winters go by, and you know, you've got to have something to keep your sanity. Like, a lot of people would fall asleep, and sometimes I would do that. But other times I'm just not tired, I just don't want to sleep. So you need to sort of, you know, watch something. Now, before tablets and all this came on, you used to get these little devices that you had a memory stick in there, you could put videos on it, like MP4s and stuff, and then watch them on it. It's the same thing. You could sit there, plug your headphones in, and watch a TV show or watch a movie or whatever. And the great thing is, like, you can really get into a series that way because you know, like, you're not going to be disturbed. It's not like when you're at home and there's always things to do before you finally get to sit down and watch your TV. When you're on a train and it's just you going to work or coming back from work, it's your time. It's your kind of 40, 50 minutes or whatever it is, and you can watch an episode every morning and watch an episode every evening, and you can very quickly run through series and you keep the momentum going. So it's not like I'm watching a series on TV at the moment called Broadchurch, but you get one episode every Monday and it's just really annoying. Having to wait a week to find the next episode is just Whereas with this, you can just keep that continuity going. You can blast through a series in a week or two of going on your train, and it just makes a huge difference. And that's what you can watch movies as well, but the problem with movies is you're not going to finish the whole movie. You might see the first third of it in the morning, the next third in the evening, and then the next third the next morning. Like, it works, but not quite as well as a TV series does. And you can see it all the time. You're like glancing over, you can see people just you're like, oh, what series is that? You're like trying to work out what it is. ETA is 5 minutes. Oh, no, I'm going to arrive 13:08. ETA is 4 minutes late, 4.5. I'm full blast here, so if I start losing time, then there's something wrong with the scenario because I can't go any quicker. I'm like 100%. Whoa, that was a bit of a jarring turn. Who was that? Did you see that? Just there was a crossing point, and there was a guy with a dog. Where the track forked open, there was like a caged walking area, and he walked his dog into it, ready to cross the next bit. It was like a pedestrian level crossing almost. Trying to work out why the track forked off like this, and it kind of looks like it's merging again. Trying to work out why it did that. There's obviously a valley there, and they couldn't build two tracks, so they went around it with one track on one side and one track on the other. Now this bit of track is as straight as it gets, eh? Like an arrow. I wonder what drivers do to keep the concentration levels up. Imagine what it's like being a train driver and you're doing the same journey. Perhaps, I don't know, once, twice, 3 times a day. I'm not sure what their scheduling looks like. Actually, I should ask my friend. He works as a commuter train driver. I should ask him. So you're doing the same journey every day. You know this track pretty well. What do you do to keep your concentration? Like, you know, they're not allowed to sit there and start reading the newspaper. It's not... Let me put it this way. With a pilot, he can hit the autopilot and then just monitor. You know? And he's also got a co-pilot. He can at least talk to him. Tell him a joke. I don't know. Ask him about his life. But this guy's up here on his own, and there is no autopilot. There's nothing... What does he do? How does he stop himself getting bored on the same journey? Is this what, like, do they rotate people onto different timetables or different routes for that particular reason, just to keep the freshness? Or is it a case of, once they've learnt a route, because, believe it or not, these routes are quite complicated. Like, I've seen a manual. I've seen one of the manuals for one of these routes. Like, there's a lot to it. It's basically pages and pages of detail about the line itself. And I don't know how much they have to learn. But it has occurred to me that if there's quite a bit of training goes into teaching a driver a route, then you're not going to want to keep moving him around because you've got to retrain him again. See, I don't know what platform this is. And everything just goes by a little bit too quickly. It was perhaps 3 or 4 words. Sea Green and Jordan's, maybe? In which case, next stop would be Gerrard's Cross. I don't know. Next time I see him, I'll ask him, actually. I think he started going into training now. Like, he's spent quite a few years as a driver. And he does the London to It goes through Harlow. What's that line called? Goes through Tottenham Hale, goes through Harlow, goes up into Cambridge, I think. Comes into London, Liverpool Street, if I remember. There is another one that goes to Euston, I think. But his goes to London, Liverpool Street. I can't remember the name of the line. Like, I used to get the line. When I used to live in Harlow, I used to get that line. That was before I met him. Never even knew he was a train driver on that line. So I might have seen the guy before I even met him. But anyway. He still does his driving. But he's getting more into training drivers now. So he says he really enjoys teaching people. Like, teaching people how to do it. And I said to him, like, I said, do you enjoy being a train driver? And he went, not really. I said, what? It really took me aback. He said, not really. He said, I actually enjoy... He said, it's just a job to me. I said, I really enjoy teaching people, though. He said, so I started going into the... He said, and you can see them coming through. They're all really enthusiastic. And he said, I really enjoy teaching them. I was like, this is so bizarre. I thought to myself, like, how did he even get into the career if he doesn't particularly enjoy the job? Like, most people go into train driving because they like the idea of it, or they love trains. And here's a guy who doesn't really enjoy train driving, but is a train driver. But he does enjoy training people and teaching them, and so he's getting into that. The whole thing just interested me. He keeps going on about taking me on his train up front, but I think he has to apply for clearance to do it. I'd love to do it. I don't know if there's any kind of security concerns around it, like, you know what it's like these days, they're always concerned about terrorist threats and that kind of thing, but maybe we can just speak to the operator and just say, you know, can I, you know, my name's Paul, I make a simulation channel videos, like, can I bring a GoPro in here? It'd be so cool. Well, it would for us. I mean, to him, it's just a day job. For us, what I could do is I could get in this cab here, just thinking about this, and I would sit here, wouldn't I? So what I could do is I could perhaps have a forward-mounted camera there, like a GoPro, looking out the window, and then I could perhaps put another camera here facing this way. I don't know if you know he wants to be on TV, that's the thing. Like, does he want to be in a video? He might not actually want that. I want to see his controls and stuff, that's the thing. I don't know. I'd have to speak to him. Blimey, I'm about to go speeding because I'm not paying any attention. Let me rein it back a little bit. There we go, back under 85. Just noticed the actual route here is getting quite interesting now. There's a lot of cool stuff here. It is lagging a little bit, but it is actually, you know what I mean? They could have, Just Trains could have built a scenario which is just track and grass and trees. But they've not. Look at this. There's a lot of detail here. This is a cool little platform. And we're just flying right through it on this scenario. I mean, there's going to be other scenarios where you can stop at it, but... Look at all the grass here. Look at this. It's an overgrown track. Love that bridge. A rusted old iron bridge. Still doing its job. Let's get the power back on. We just seem to take a left branch then. Where are we? Centre player. There we are. Yeah, we just took a left branch there. Looks like there's another branch that comes the same way and joins a track later. So there's another one of those kind of... maybe there's like some freight stuff going on down there. I don't know. Oh no, tunnel! Oh, it's a short one. I love little short tunnels like this. They're so cool. But yeah, you just think about the amount of modelling that's been done here. It's a lot of work, you know? But when I don't know how you feel, but when I buy a scenario, like £25 is quite significant in the gaming world. £25 will get you a game, more or less. What's that in dollars? 30 odd dollars? It will more or less get you a game. It's not far off a AAA game. So it's a lot to splash out on a scenario. So what you want to do is get your money out of that. You want multiple scenarios on here, different things to do on the same track, because you're not gonna appreciate and learn all that this track has got in 1 or 2 journeys. And what you don't want to do is be kind of faced with the, oh, I need to spend some more money on a loco. I don't want that. So at the very least, I think they could have created... I mean, I don't know how difficult... I should go and create a schedule to find out. Like, if you create a route, create a scenario, and see how much work is involved in it. Because what I'm looking at here is an awful lot of modelling. Like, there's just so many modelling. And these stations are all custom built. There's loads of modelling gone into this. Many hours. But in terms of what you get as an end user... You know, is it perhaps a case where they could have taken, say, this locomotive, this train, and built 6, 7 or 8 scenarios around it? Just to provide the variety, they could have made them of different kind of difficulty ratings. Lots of signalling on one, nice easy cruise on the other, different weather. So rather than just providing 14 scenarios covering about 7 or 8 different locos, which, you know, if you think about it, the more trains they use, the more chance there is that you don't have it. If they use 3 trains, or let's say 4, let's say they used 2 from Steam and 2 from Just Trains, yeah? And then built like 4 scenarios on each. That means I could buy 1 train and get at least 4 scenarios out of it. Then I'm starting to feel like I'm getting good value for money. So I think they need to look at it from an end user's point of view a bit more. And not just as a opportunity to cross-sell you stuff, which is the danger. I'm not saying they're doing that, but that's always the danger. And that's how they start to get a bad rep, isn't it? Because they start to get the, oh, I'm not going to buy that because, you know, it's always the same with these people. They just want to make you buy more trains. And some of that is true. So if it doesn't take much effort to create a scenario, I would say to them, create loads of scenarios. And then people will love you for it. Look at these double-decker buses. Yay! They're a bit crudely modelled, but, you know. Wow, I nearly missed a speed thingy then. I was on external camera and I saw the little warning light and I was like, whoa, hit the Q key. They keep warning me about this speed drop. Let's get it down to under 60. Wait a minute. I've just spotted something. So, our ETA, well, we need to arrive at 13:08 and our ETA is 13:02. Which has suddenly jumped back like 5 minutes. Now, when I see things like that, it often indicates to me that there's going to be a stoppage on the line. Because this estimate doesn't take into account the fact that we may have to stop for a signal for 4 minutes. So I'm kind of thinking that something's going to go down. This is quite nice through here. I need to find out where we are, actually. Well, I'm glad to see it's not just countryside. This has got some nice, nice stuff going on. Oh, I wish I could see where that is. So look at that again, there's loads of modelling gone into that. Loads of modelling, footbridge, everything. That's a nice station actually. So yeah, what I'm saying is a fair point, I think. There's a lot of great modelling gone into this, but I don't feel like there's quite enough scenarios. And yeah, you can quick drive it, I get all that. And I'm sure some people will build some workshop content, I get that too. Maybe I should look into building a scenario, like, just to see what it's like. Problem is trying to find time to do things like that, trying to find time to just learn how to do it all, you know, and then go and do it is, you know, if I spend half a day on that, that's half a day when I'm not making a video. That's always the problem. "26 miles, not that far." I kind of wish, like, you see these trees in the distance there, they're just so fake. I kind of wish, like, they had better trees than that. The lighting on them is just horrendous, because what this engine is not doing is it's not lighting the object. That object is just sat there as a pre-rendered image, and it's not being lit by the light source, so you don't get... When you look at it, it pops out unnaturally, because it is unnaturally placed there. But yeah, it's an old engine, so what are you going to do? Come on, go faster! This thing is so slow. The other thing that annoys me is, like, I've got 32 gigabytes of RAM. 32 gigabytes. I'm pretty certain this graphics engine could load the entire scenario into memory, probably, or have a very good job at it. The fact that it keeps, you know, staggering for FPS while it loads things. I think games should scale to your system, let me put it that way. It should just go, how much memory have you got? You got 8 gig, right, okay. Well, I can probably load some stuff in, a couple of tiles, and then I'll start to stream the tiles further down. How much memory have you got? 32 gig? Blimey. I'm going to load 4 tiles at a time. And then we'll only stutter every 4 tiles. A lot of these signal boxes everywhere. I wish I could catch what station we're passing, and then I know roughly where we are on the route, but we fly past so quickly I can't actually get a sight on it. Double-decker buses here? Not sure about that. Not sure how that's how it works. At some point we will be, and not too far away, crossing the M25 boundary and starting to enter Greater London. See if we can catch this one. Actually, if we just free camera the whole thing, can we? Is it that one or that one? There you go. Let's find out where we are. Beaconsfield. Beaconsfield. Okay, so the one before it was High Wycombe. The one that was all built up. And that was Beaconsfield. Next one is Sear, Green and Jordan. Which means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stops, plus a bunch of London Underground ones, which, like I say, won't be attached. What I really want to keep, we need to keep an eye out for this, because there's going to be, like I said, a load of London Underground track as we go down the side of the London Underground line, which is down near Ruislip. It starts roughly at Ruislip. I think, if I remember, a lot of it is the Central line, because I remember the Central line goes all the way out to West Ruislip, and that's where we're coming past. So my expectation is we'll see, like, red carriages, the Central line ones. We'll see. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what we'll see. Bridge coming up. Yeah, a bit too much use of this particular red, slightly burnt vegetation. You see the way it's just been kind of monotonously laid out. Needs a bit more variation than this. Need to just break it up now and again with other stuff, you know. Different kinds of vegetation just to stop it looking a little bit like it was just copy-pasted all the way down the track. It would be kind of nice if one day, here I'm dreaming again, these engines would simulate things a bit better. So, you know, the map editor, the map author guy could say, well, this is the kind of vegetation this is, and then the actual engine could provide variety to it, either in terms of its growth, like how big it is, or whether it's flowering, or not just the weather, but it could take into it, just to make it different, so every time you drove down here, it would look different in a way, because it would vary. Stuff like that would be kind of cool. That was a weird... Look at that! We just went through a tunnel, which then has another bridge on it, that was obviously built later. That's bizarre. Guessing, possibly that was the M25. Judging by the fact they had double roadage, that was, or maybe that, possibly their vain attempt at an M25 motorway. Simple platform. Oh yeah, trackside view. Look at this. That's cool. What is this? Station, I wonder. Some nice houses. No idea. Can't read that. Not at this speed. I reckon we might get up to about 95 down this little bit here. Nice long stretch. 15 miles to Marylebone. I know for a fact we're going to go through Wembley Stadium, so it should be pretty obvious when we go through it. I don't think we've got there yet, we're still a few miles away. ETA 13:01. I don't get this, we're still 8 minutes early. There's got to be some signalling coming into London. Because I don't for 1 minute think we're going to be 7 or 8 minutes early. There's actually a red marker there at 90. I guess that's the maximum speed of the train then. Even though the track speed's 100, this thing's like... Either that's its normal operating speed, or that's a don't go faster than this kind of mark. Something on the right here, some building I just saw. There we go. Looks like a fairly significant station. Oh, there you go, there you go. There's the underground. That is the underground, so that must be where it starts. That could be Northolt Park or somewhere like that. Or West Ruislip, possibly. Possibly West Ruislip. Yeah, there's the underground track down there. So look how busy it is here. Look at this, all this is like underground. That's fantastic. That's pretty well modelled, I have to say. Check, we've got a green light. Yes, we have. I want to look at this scenery. We should start to see some pretty interesting things now, I reckon. Yeah, you can see the fence here, look. This is all underground station. You can tell by the underground logo. So at this point, the train and the underground are running parallel. Now, this track will... I don't know what line this is. If this is the central line, which is what I think it is. If this is central line, it dives underground around the White City area, if I remember. Roughly where White City is and the old BBC broadcasting house, that's where it would dive underground. And it'll stay underground in London. It doesn't pop up again until it gets to Stratford, which is on the east side. But we've now branched away from that now. It's gone one way, we've gone the other. Look at the modelling here, it's pretty good. Very industrial. Yeah, it's definitely going to get a lot more interesting now. There's more things to see than when we're over in the open fields. So let's assume that was West Ruislip and Ruislip Gardens, South Ruislip, which are underground. Next stop would be Northolt Park. So we've got a few more stops and then we'll get to Wembley Stadium and then we should see the underground again. So I'm guessing the underground goes off to the right over there and then comes back and meets up here. So I reckon that is Northolt Park. Yes, I think it is. I think I saw the word park on the second word on the sign. So I think I know where we are now. Next will be Sudbury Hill. Tunnel. Oh god. Somebody put the lights on in here. That's only a short tunnel. It's all good. All in all, I'd say this has been a fairly interesting journey, actually. It's quite a nice little line, this. I wonder where it shows you how much fuel you've got on board. It's just nothing. Maybe you can't read it from the inside. They don't work either, do they? Maybe you can only read it from the outside, I don't know. Oh, I wish these systems work more, I really do. Right, so let's assume that was Sudbury Hill Harrow. Next one will be Sudbury and Harrow Road. And then Wembley Stadium, so I really don't think we're going to miss Wembley Stadium. I remember in the brochure seeing that that bridge, that footbridge that goes over. At the very least we're going to see that. There it is, there it is, I can see it. The famous frame, like it's like a suspension arm, all the cables coming off it. Wow, this is cool. There's the footbridge. Let's back off on the throttle. We've got an 85 coming up. Oh man, that's cool. Look at that. That is great. The bridge that goes over. Massive stadium. That's really nice. Let's get the brakes on a little bit now. We're going down to 85, down to 70, possibly going to get some yellow signals. Yep, there you go. Keep braking down to 70. Yeah, that was a nice little bit of scenic view. Okay, we're at 70, we're good. Whoa, whoa, look at this. Look at that with Wembley in the distance. Fantastic. Okay, 50 limit coming up, but it's an uphill. Okay, we're back on the underground here, so that's going to be Neasden. I have to say, this is really good modelling. There's a lot of detail here. Got to get back in the track. I want to see the sign, but I want to see the scenery, but we've got things we need to pay attention to now. Yep, underground trains running in parallel. That is fantastic. Look at this. That guy stopped, look. Okay, we're under 50. Let's accelerate. Okay, so we've got an ETA of 8 or 9 minutes early. So like I say, I'm kind of expecting things to happen in a minute. She's struggling to accelerate up here. .8 miles to Marylebone, so we are close now. There's so much going on. There's a mosque on the left. Oh no, I'm speeding. No, 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 no. I'm too busy looking at stuff. What happened then was we flattened out, and as we flattened out, we started to accelerate pretty quickly, and I wasn't paying attention. This is cool. Look at this. We're actually running alongside the underground. With completely blacked out windows. GG. This is seriously got a trackside view. Look at this. This is great. What speed are we doing? So he's clearly doing like 50 as well. I don't think I've ever played this game and paralleled a London Underground train like this for so long. I don't even think I've paralleled one before. This is epic timing. I'm guessing that guy's going to stop though. Nope, he's carrying on. Oh, man, this is so much fun. Rubber shops. Look at this. This is awesome. This has just never happened before. Never done this. Look how many lines they've got. And you can see the power rails. You see the centre one there and the outer one? The two parallels. Two rails. I don't know how far that guy's going. Okay, watch the speed now because we're about to go downhill. I can't get over this. This is so cool. Okay, we have a 25 limit coming up. Let's back off now. Looks like he's going his own way and we're going ours. Let's get ready for some slow down in. Oh god, massive tunnel of doom. Yeah, this is going to be horrible visibility for a little while. So where are we now, I wonder? Possibly we've gone through all the stops now into London Marylebone next. Possibly. green signal. Another tunnel. Oh man, these tunnels are horrible. Look at this. This is the only thing I don't like. That is horrendous visibility. I don't understand why it's so bad. Okay, 25 limit down here. Can't even see a signal or anything. It's just complete darkness. There we go. There's a tunnel there. Start slowing down now. I'm guessing we're going to pop out of there and it's going to be like full on Marylebone, like whoa. Expecting to get an AWS. There it is. It's so... the visibility is so bad, I can't even read any kind of speed signs in here. Like, if you tried to do this without the HUD, just good luck to you, you know? It's not going to happen. Okay, it's yellow. I was a little bit concerned then we were going to pop out and see a red. Or river. Just got the speed under control on time. One of the on a Monopoly board, Marylebone stations on there, isn't it? It's one of the 4 stations. What is it? Fenchurch? I'm trying to think now. Fenchurch, Marylebone, Euston, and what's the 4th one? Oh, that's going to bug me. Well, interestingly enough, I was wrong about the timing. We've actually arrived, bizarrely, 8 minutes early. I don't get that at all. I just genuinely don't understand that. Surely the schedule would have been... oh, look at this. It thinks we didn't pick anybody up from here or here. What the heck? Is that because we didn't make it on time, or...? I don't understand why it thinks we've not done these. Did I do something wrong, or is that bugged out? Oh well, doesn't matter. It's not Korea. Let's put it down to here. Costa coffee there. Not really Costa. That was cool. Marylebone, I don't think Marylebone was as fun as I thought it would be. I think Wembley was way cooler, and that trip with the underground train was awesome. But Chiltern Lines, it was pretty fun. It's going to make me sit here now for like 8 minutes, lol. Yeah, I mean, that was Chiltern Mainline. That was a end-to-end, wasn't it? So there are other scenarios that we could do in between. If you guys saw anything in the scenario list that you would like me to do, then let me know. If there's a particular one that you want me to do, perhaps a freight one, or I think the JT Advance one, it would be a fast version of that. But given it the track speed down there seems to be 100 anyway, I'm not really sure we're going to benefit from it, to be honest. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a freight one, or visit some of the smaller stations perhaps. But yeah, not a bad scenario. All in all, I think we'll just skip forward now. I'll just wait here 8 minutes and we'll skip forward and see what it says about the journey. I don't understand this though. I don't understand 1, 2, 3 failures to pick up. Unless it's because I wasn't bang on time, maybe. That's the only thing I can think of. But anyway, that's it from me for this Train Simulator video. 2-parter. Both parts are in the video description, just in case you missed the first one. But I doubt it, because you wouldn't be here listening. Anyway, that's it for me. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the videos. Until next time, take care. Happy training.